It's suggested. That, okay. It's suggested strongly that we take refuge and set our intention for bodhicitta. And I say something that means a lot to me and kind of got a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from my experience. You are welcome to say that with me or say whatever it is that has meaning for you. If you want a copy of what I say, just shoot me an email. I'm getting a little better at actually answering those. With a wish for all beings to be free, free of the constriction and contraction of held belief systems and thought patterns, free of the automatic reactivity of held emotional patterns, and free of distorted perceptions. I will always go for refuge to alive, vibrant, radiant, spacious awareness until awareness is ongoing, like the flow of a river. Enthused by wisdom and compassion. Today, in the presence of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, of any lineage and time, or none, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all beings. As long as space remains, as long as beings remain, may I manifest in such a way to ease and dispel the miseries in the universe. I have a note from Susie, and excuse me, Louis, for interrupting you. I always say you can say whatever you want, and then I just interrupted you. I have a note from Susie that she's not feeling well, so her camera is off. And Ola bounces in and out quite often. And she is translating for Russian for us. Jennifer and Sean. There. Hi. Jennifer, if you can, it's nice to have a camera so I can see you. It's nice for me. And if not, I do understand. Okay. What will happen today? Just to check, you don't have to answer to me. Whoops. With the laptop. But I think it's important for us to have to check every now and then certainly has been important for me. What is my intention as far as what do I want to, it sounds kind of crass, but Jennifer, thank you. That's fine. You may turn it off, the camera off if it's easier. What's my intention? What am I hoping for? And at one point, or sometimes it's not all or nothing, a lot of the time, after a while, the hope goes away of what we might get out of any of these practices. And things just start going forward rather on their own. I call it the path starts doing itself. Don't believe we can make that do that. Well, because that would be really sort of silly, wouldn't it? To say, oh, look, my path is doing itself. I made it do that. Oh, sorry, that makes me laugh. That can happen. But this is particularly a practice that is a full practice and has the potential. Oh, what is the term Lama Lena uses? Is to go all the way. In other words, there's no limitation, basically, in any practice. It will has the potential to completely open our heart mind and cause us to recognize what's called enlightenment. If your motivation is to become enlightened, because you think it would be kind of cool, if that's a goal, I hate to tell you this, but there's not very much of a singularity such as you in enlightenment, or so I've been told. So this practice is can be used, not used, can arise in all sorts of different ways for people. It can cause a relaxation, a kind of a refuge, simple. And I like simple, by the way, that is not a put down or a criticism. Simple is best for me. Otherwise, I'll complicate it with my busy mind. It can simply make you feel better. It can cause some relaxation, some calmness, can release some of our grasping and pushing away. And that's wonderful. Or I think I mentioned the title of that book by Thich Nhat Hanh. No death, no fear. Without seeking it and trying to get it, the Chenrezig practice has the potential to walk us straight into unlimited, unboundaried, what is labeled compassion, open-hearted, open-mindedness, and can lead us beyond our concepts of duality. For instance, he says very early, there is no birth, there is no death. When conditions and causes and conditions are ripe, manifestation occurs. When causes and conditions cannot support a manifestation anymore, I like his words, they're kind of sweet. It goes into hiding. As a concept, that's almost impossible to get. We can intellectually kind of get a feel for it, maybe. Oh, okay, they say that's true, so I believe that. But something fairly that we hang on to a great deal, most of us, has to have the happy accident of shifting to actually experience no death, no birth. There are some very good meditators, in particularly Dzogchen, because it's called the highest teaching. Why, I don't know. It messes up more people. And those meditators won't even consider Tantra because it's not the highest method. Don't throw it out because you think, oh, I'm doing Dzogchen. I don't need any Tantra. Probably none of you will since you're in here. So good on you. There's a line also from another book I'm reading that says it's certainly possible to have refuge in a non-form deity or yidam. Depends what word you like. You can definitely, anybody, well, not anybody, it is possible for that openness beyond description to be I want to say reachable because we are that. Can rest into that as a refuge. But in this book, it does say, for the most part, for most of us, it's much easier to have a form. Whether we become that form, formless form, non-solid form. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Well, I guess I have to sneeze. So it can be very nice whether you perceive a form of Chenrezig, Tara, Guru, excuse me, Guru Rinpoche, whatever the form may be that you like to perceive, and whether you've received the essence of that in what's called an empowerment, or you have, this will probably get me in trouble, you have just received the essence of that yourself. And you start to perceive yourself as that deity form, When things go really upside down and off the tracks, it can be nice to have that connection. And a form like that is you. Couldn't possibly be separate. But sometimes it is nice to have a form that we can almost seek outside. Hey, Chenrezig, you mind hanging with me for a little bit? I'm having a hard time with it. And then open to whatever happens. So that's my Tantra speech. I am not one who holds tightly to, you must do Tantra this way. You must learn the whole Tibetan. It's like a language, a second language of all the symbols and the meaning and there's quite a lot involved in a formal tantric practice. I knew I was never going to do it, so I went for essence. It's up to you. But whatever the all is of the dance of the three kayas, indescribable, the vastness of Dharmakaya, openness beyond duality, the alive radiance, luminosity of life itself, aliveness of Sambhogakaya, and the interconnected, interdependent arising of manifestations, Nirmanakaya. What a wonderful dance. Whatever arises as a yidam, and it does not have to be visual. Tibetans, I've been told, are very visual. This can be a heart sense, can be sound, can be vibration, can be anything you can imagine. Perhaps it can be smell or taste. I have no idea. That is simply an aspect of the all, just as you are. Isn't that nice? And you get to pick the aspect that most appeals to you. So, Chenrezig, symbol of complete open-hearted, open-mindedness, an all-encompassing love beyond separation and attachment and aversion. Ooh. Not a dead old statue, although many statues of Chenrezig are not very dead, if you've encountered any. Alive. So as we start, well, I guess we have, in this particular practice, which Lama Lena received from Lama Thupten Yeshi, did I get that right? Lama Yeshi is how I first knew of him, in Kopan. It is a practice of visualization, sound, and vibration. If you are a visualizer, or you have a visual image, if you are more of an audio person, sound person, there is the mantra. And if you are more of a tactile or somatic, I'm not really sure what the right word is there. There is the vibration of sound, actually never separate. Well, I'll say the vibration of the universe, of life. I will limit it that way. If you are more of a sense, don't want to say feeling, because so many of our feelings are reactive. If you find it somewhat easy, more easy to feel the sensation of open-heartedness until it becomes you, that's here too, all in one package. Allowing all the senses to be involved involves our whole form. Not a bad idea. So we start by remembering a time when we felt love for another being or another. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I just fell into the habit that we all have Most of us have. When you felt the sensation of love that you named love, the sensation as it arose didn't say to itself, oh, I think I'll be love and I'll arise now. If you have a peek, it arose without any intention, certainly no direction from what we call I. Have you ever tried to make yourself love something? It doesn't really go all that well. Maybe you can do it. I don't know. I can't do it, but you might be different. It's simply that sensation of warmth, perhaps. Fullness. I don't know. All the words are not going to do it justice. If your awareness can rest right as it arises, it's really not attached to anything. It has a timeless quality. And because it often feels so good, we attach it immediately. We don't even notice that it is not. We attach it to the stimulus that caused us to experience that sensation, or we think caused us to experience that sensation. You can, when it arises, let yourself rest right there. No hopes, no fears, no lover and loving and being loved, separated. Just an indescribable, and I was going to put a word there. It's totally indescribable. The stimulus for us can be very different. It can be a person, could be your teacher, could be Chenrezig, could be music, could be at the end of a hike when you've climbed up a mountain and you're sitting and looking out over the sunset. Just washes through you. Could be any number of things. Could be, as I sort of joke about, it's not such a great joke. It could be Hallmark movies, if you're familiar with those. They usually show up around Christmas time. Doesn't matter what the stimulus is. Could be a piece of art. The sensation is unbounded before we attach it. If you are able to catch it with your open awareness, not catch it, notice it, be it, even better. Just rest in it as it, not separate. We grab so quickly. We push away so quickly. It's hard to find that little gap sometimes, but it's very possible with openness. And rest right there. Today, if that is not occurring, what I was going to say is, once we've noticed that little gap, as it's beyond concepts, thought patterns, all of the above, reactive feelings, beyond the distortion of individual existence. We may notice, begin to be aware that sensation, that experience happens quite often. We often don't notice, in my experience, because I'm busy looking for it, trying to grab something, or just busy with day-to-day thinking, feeling, and reacting, telling stories, all the things our mind is so able to do because it's so very busy and creative. When we can be a little more quiet, when perhaps the thoughts relax a little bit, and we can begin to rest in the quiet without naming anything, without grabbing anything. We might be surprised at how often that indescribable aliveness, radiance, luminosity, pick your choice, arises. Actually, we may notice it's present in every moment. Well, it is every moment, but it's not in the past. Although today we may use the past to try to call up that sensation, it's not in the future. It's right here in this moment. It's not in it. You set free from concepts and reactive feelings, descriptions, for a moment. So we call up a time, perhaps, when we felt that waft of love, maybe even before we named it, or when for a moment we felt that. Since there is no separation in the arising of the sensation, the experience, it doesn't matter whether it's something you attached as coming from something else, or if it's something you attached to what you felt for something else. It doesn't really matter. They were never separate anyway. We only muck it up when we attach it, and then watch all our hopes, fears, and expectations come running after. Perhaps your memory will involve a puppy or a baby, a particular time in your life. It can be anything at all. We use that sensation, not full, because we've called it up, to the best of our ability today, or perhaps it will arise in this moment with no seeking. We allow that sensation to nurture what we can visualize as a 1,000-petaled lotus made of light. Whenever you experience that sensation, just a little off the, if it is your entire being and in the entire world, that may become your lotus, the lotus you perceive. Many of us feel it in the heart chakra. You don't have to look around for where your heart chakra is. Lots of people say lots of different things. It's meaningless. Where is it for you? Where do you experience that openness beyond words? that warm sensation. And then don't worry about holding it there. That's just for a tool for our visualization. You actually can't hold it there, but you could try. So, thousand-petaled Chenrezig, lotus, the symbol of open-heartedness. Unconceptualized love. Lots of symbols in Tantra. This thousand-petaled lotus made of light. In the center, as we nurture it, nourish it with that feeling of love, compassion, open-heartedness that we were searching around for, it can begin to relax and open into its full blossom. Most of us have our hearts somewhat closed in an effort to protect ourselves. We've all been hurt. We've all felt probably rejection, death, pain, and we don't like it. So our heart may naturally close up a little bit. That lotus, let's use the lotus, as a way of trying to protect that tender heart. It doesn't work. It closes us off to the experience of life in this moment. But it's pretty natural to have had that happen. And trying to open a bud, say a rosebud, before it's ready, before its causes and conditions are present, if you will, to open into a flower. Trying to force your heart to open by ripping at those petals is not very useful. As we nurture that lotus with this sensation, and it opens, we notice 6 petals in the middle of the lotus, 6 petals of different colors. And on each of those petals sits one of the syllables of the mantra of Chenrezig, the mantra of that carries the sound of open-hearted, open-minded, unlimited love. And if you'll repeat it with me 3 times, if you haven't already, that's traditional Tibetan to receive the Lung. And it is Om Ma Ni Pe Me Hum. You pronounce it differently, it does not matter at all. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As you say that mantra, and if you do this on your own, it's recommended to carry the mantra forward with you, to be saying it. If you have a mala, you would move a bead every time you said one round of the mantra. One mantra. And as we say that, as any of us use our voice like that, you can feel the vibration deep in your body, all the way through and up through your crown chakra. And you will hear the mantra. Is the hearing of the mantra inside you or outside you? Or neither? Or both? Sound. We will hear it for a limited time, usually, not necessarily. But it is waves. Where does the sound begin? And where does the sound end? As we say the mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. The inner 6 petals carrying those syllables starts to rotate. And as it rotates, all the colors blend together until, as organically happens with light, those colors represent all the display colors of light. And as they come together, they become white. It's not the white of a spotlight, glaring bright. It's warm, sparkly, perhaps. And as it fills those 6 inner petals, they extend into rays of light that fill the entire lotus until there are 1,000 rays of warm, vibrant light radiating out into the universe. There's no limit of where those rays may go. As far as your imagination reaches, the rays of radiant light can shine. No limitation in time to the past, in the present, into the future, imaginary time. No limitation on size, perhaps touching the cells in your body, perhaps touching a being that is so large we cannot conceive of it, therefore we cannot see it. Perhaps touching, today for me, all the beings that my limited sense, first of my eye organ, ear organ, touch organ, they may touch all the beings that I cannot see because of that limitation. All the beings that I cannot see because I cannot conceive of such a thing. It is said that our space, the space around us, is full of so much, many beings that we can't even imagine. Those 1,000 rays, I can't ever think of 1,000 particular beings. Just wherever they go out, they touch 1,000 beings. And their heart relaxes, is filled with this vibrant light. And the same thing happens. The lotus opens. These rays, for me, perhaps for you, carry the sound of the mantra and the vibration of life, very vibration that sound makes. So the 1,000 beings these lights rays have touched, sound rays, vibration. Now each open, and we have 1,000 rays of warm, vibrant light, sound, vibration, touching 1,000 beings, allowing their heart to open into its true essence. And if you are visual, you may have a sort of image of almost like a spider web of light rays crossing. Some of these rays from the 1,000 beings are radiating back and filling your heart again and again and again, not with beings' personalities. I don't think many of us would like that, but with that essence of who we truly are, all beings, vibrant, alive, radiant, unlimited love. And where those lights intersect each other, we might perceive a little node. That node that for us often feels as though we're an individual. We may experience it as this web of interconnectedness with other beings. In this example, in this practice, the true essence of all beings. The refuge of Nirmanakaya as it really is. We can rest in that refuge. For some of us, it may be the sound, like the whole 1,000 rays are singing, O Mani Padme Hum. And the vibration of that sound fills us, fills all beings. We may sense this sound bouncing around the universe. Pretty good company. If you choose to do this practice on your own, you can rest, obviously, yes, depending on your time, as long as you want, right here in this refuge. It may occur if you fall deeply into it, that your heart almost breaks, knowing that not only do we miss this refuge most of the time, most beings are not even aware of this refuge. And if possible, your heart may open even more. Can't make that happen. Don't need to make that happen. It'll happen if it does. Your experience. For today, as we continue, until the 1,000 lights, sound, vibration, touch 1,000 beings, and there are 1,000 rays of light. See them? 1,000 sound of mantra. Hear it? 1,000 sources, if you will, of vibration of open-hearted aliveness. Feel it. And on it goes until there are an infinite number of rays, sound, vibration, touching an infinite number of beings. And there is no thing but light, radiant light. Sound, vibration. We can rest here. The beautiful name is Sambhogakai, aspect of heart mind. Awareness, unself-focused. As there is no sense of an individual, this awareness is beyond concepts, ideas, descriptions. It simply is. You simply are this, where omniscience may arise. Hearing may be unlimited. Vision, excuse me, vision may be unlimited. Vibration, touch may be unlimited. No looker, no looking, no looked at. No separation in looker, looking, and looked. No separation in lover, loving, and object of love. Beyond our individual, excuse me, sense, an illusion. And nonetheless, we all sense these of loneliness or separation. Yes, beyond birth, beyond death. If you are fortunate enough to fall in as this awareness, aliveness, radiance, luminosity, there's a lovely term, it's called allow the child luminosity to unite with the mother luminosity. If you have uncomfortableness with those terms, please find your own. There's never been any separation. You arose from the ultimate luminosity, the radiance that permeates all of space. When your form dissolves, it becomes a part of that. Again, you were never separate to begin with. Like a rainbow, simply a color arising. Should that tend to worry you, although it probably won't when you fall in, but if you're thinking about it now at all, you will come back into your form. As you do that, your self-focus, your self-awareness, as you do that, you may have a sensation of putting on a bunch of stuff. Part of you may go, no, I don't want all that back. But back it will come because you will get hungry, or you will have to pee, or something will interrupt you. And our habitual form is just anxious for you to come back in. It's okay. Or perhaps, since the form and the formless are not separate, are not different, always the potential, I suppose, that they will unite. And bingo bango, enlightened mind arises, doesn't arise. Let's call it enlightened heart today. That which cannot be hurt doesn't deny that our little hearts get hurt. They do. Cannot be destroyed. Cannot be affected by perceived outside arisings, as there is no outside. Perhaps it arises no difference between the awareness that notices this form, this I that seem unable to let completely relax, feels no difference, sees no difference, perceives, experiences no difference between this form and every other form that has arisen from the dance of aliveness, light in unbounded, unlimited spaciousness. Ooh, that's quite a refuge. As that alive awareness is not limited by time and space. There may be a knowing, not in words, that you have been, are, and will be all beings. Perhaps you've been a saint. Well, of course you have, if there is such a thing. Manifestation. A murderer. A mug. This open awareness. Every manifestation is you. There is no past, present, or future. This goes a little far. Put it down. Maybe open for a moment to the possibility. Your little you, our little form, no. Or yes, or both. We are this. We are able to rest again and again without the description. I have nothing else I can use with words. There's certainly more than that present right now. Can rest right here. arising and dissolving in every moment, holding on for dear life, most of us, trying to make a consistent, stable form to our liking. As this, there is no being to dedicate, no dedication, and no being to dedicate to. This form is very grateful to have been able to share this practice with you today. May it be realized in all of us. May it shine, radiate naturally in such a way that it will be recognized by all beings. Thank you to our translators, recorders. And may we not grasp onto anything. Feels kind of silly, the idea at this moment. There's nothing to grasp, nothing to push away. Thank you all, and I will see you next time I see you.
Thank you, Jan. I feel so much better from all of that.